Hello everyone, welcome to this channel, Unique Educational Concepts. We are still on the topic Bats, written by David Herbert Lawrence. And in the previous class, we discussed the background of the poet and the poem. Now we are going to look at the poetic devices in the poem. As you know that the poem is one of the non-African poetry meant to be read by students of Wase or Neko. So one of the poetic devices that we have in the poem is imagery. When we say imagery, we are talking about a device whereby a literary writer uses to appeal to the senses of the reader or the audience. So this is seen in lines 1 to 8 of the poem, where the poet pictures the noontide turning into evening as usually encountered by man. That is, when the evening time comes to set on man, animals, and plants. For instance, the picture shows sun plague turning into a fire glow as signal of the evening time. It is also obvious in the poem when the greenness of plants at the nick of the evening time cannot be recognized any longer. In the second organic part of the poem, the poet shows the picture of the bird swallow as look-alike of the creature bats. That is, the swallows and the bats, they look the same. So the bird's quick flight in the sky is like that of bats because it moves in circle and curved glides like that of a mathematical curve called parabola. Also, the picture of bats is projected as an elastic creature in flight for its ambivalent maneuver of turning head downward, as different from some other birds. Because this particular animal called bat has a dual nature. It is known to be rat as its parts and also to be bird. So, another one that we have there as part of the poetic devices is a presentation technique. This has to do with an angle in which a literary writer presents the literary work to the audience or the readers. So as pertaining this device, that is presentation technique, the poem Bats is presented by the poet in the persona. That is, it is presented as the poet himself, the poet himself is involved in the activities or the event as occurred in the setting of the poem. So also, the poem is omniscient in nature. That is a situation whereby the poet sees everything that happens in lines of the poem. And the narration technique is evident in lines 1 to 44, and this is to establish the reasons for which people should believe with him that Bat is a creature to despise rather than admired. So according to the view of the poet, he believes that Bat is not an animal to be welcomed or to be regarded as pets. However, in line 45 of the poem, the poet turns persona by directly putting to bear his passion for wildlife surveying, which does not recognize any wildlife creature whose outlook does not give happiness. As regarded by the Chinese, it is believed that bat's existence in the midst of human is a symbol of happiness. Another one under the devices that we have in the poem Bat is called tone. Tone can be defined or seen as a particular device that is used by a literary writer to see the effect of the wordings or the diction used by the literary writer on the readers or the audience. That is, when a person is reading a literary work, it is either the person feels happy or the person is sad. We have some situations whereby a person will be reading and the person will be laughing. Probably there's something that is being read from the literary work of a book that makes the person laugh. So that is what is meant by the device tone. Now, as pertaining to the poem, this device in the poem is descriptive, as the poet's Bat gives extensive details of his aversion or despise for bats. That is, he doesn't like bats. So the wordings of the poem shows obviously that the poet himself dislikes the animal bats. Another device on the list is mood. When we say mood, this has to do with the state of mind of any literary writer while composing or writing the literary work. That is what is meant by mood. Is the person happy or sad or in contempt? Or the person is in love, and some others that we have. So under this mood as pertaining to the poem, this device throughout the poem showcases the disgust tenet in which David Herbert Lawrence holds the bat in disguise. That is, this man, through his mood as pertaining to the animal bat, he doesn't show any feeling of loving the animal. Therefore, the mood of the poem is hateful. He hates the animal called bat. Another one, which is the last on the list, is figures of sounds. When we say figures of sounds, we mean the devices that are used to show the free flow of a literary work, usually in poetry. So under these figures of sounds, we have the likes of parallelism, we have alliteration, consonants, assonance, and some others. So also onomatopoeia. Now, in the poem, the poet does not make much concerted efforts as regards direct use of rhythmic devices in his poem, but yet the working of the poem's lines is in varying degrees of grammatical structures. That is, it made use of some sentences that are known to be run-on line or called enjambment. So also we have the cases or the use of verbless clauses. That is the clauses, the construction of sentence called clauses that have no verb. Another one is phrases and single words, which bring good rhythm on the poem. Meanwhile, there is a case of parallelism as seen in lines 2 and 8, which themselves are run-on line in the poem. So this is how far we can go as pertaining to the day's lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also to enable your notifications so as to have notification or alerts on some other videos that we posted on the channel. Thank you for being there and watch out for more videos.